supreme motherfucking rise. It is 3:54 a.m. March 6, 3, 6. That's 333. We on another 333 portal. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to split that 6 in half. Dig what I'm saying. Dig what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me quit fucking around. You see the title, Everything is Yours and or you. Let's say that wrong. Everything is yours. And let me edit that. That did not come out right. That was supposed to say everything is yours and or for you. And or for you. Let me explain. That's what it was supposed to say. You save those changes. Save those changes real quick. All right. You already know the vibes. I am Naga the Wise. And we about to get into something real quick. I be knowing shit, and it be so much that come in at one time. I be wanting to say it all at once. You know what I'm saying? I be getting it down. I'll be like, yo, how can I put this out? It's a lot. Like, yo, chop it up in the segments. So I'm gonna chop it up in the segments. You know how I be doing. I be all over the place. Naga the Wise. All right, so look. Everything is yours and or for you. Let me explain. Everything that people talk about, from fears, entities, some circumstances, and energetic values, they're representations of you. Okay, whether you know it or not. And the reason why I can speak to that, because it's not like majority of the time, if something wants to get you, it can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. You sleep a lot of times of a day in a room. So if something was mystifying, right? Or like if something wanted to get you, why just crash through something and take it, right? Why just appear and take you or do something? You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's you got, oh, they abduct people, why wouldn't it just come and beam your ass out? You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing got nothing to do with the next. And I keep seeing times where different things are expressed to the value. Now, we got to keep in mind what's expressing these values is something that wasn't here. It doesn't know. So it's coming, and everything that is on is full fear. It doesn't know anything about where it is. It hasn't even acclimated, but it has an emotional contrast to its existence being allowed to be here. Listen to what I'm saying, yo. Being allowed to be somewhere, that doesn't make you acclimated to the area in a comfortable aspect. So then if I take that line and I run that line all the way back to when that individual or those group of people first came here, then I can speak to the value of how they particularly felt. You're not going to feel comfortable. You're not going to feel anything. You're going to be like being told what this shit is. You're going to be being told. Somebody's going to say, this is this. This is how this works. Don't go over there because they're used for this. Don't do this. You can do this, but it's going to be that particular type of energy, right? So you start looking at things that have different dynamics as far as existence, but they're in the same area that you call home. These are protections. These are things that protected you. These are things that would have fought for you. This was your army. This was your war. This was your warriors. You know what I'm saying? Despite the stories that they told you, most of these natural entities that exist, you know what I'm saying, where things are hunted and they're always pointed out and trying to get pictures of them. No, these things are going to move like that because they're not for them. They're for you. But you forgot they was for you. So when they started taking away your knowledge of what you know, you revered everything how they revere everything. So once something was shown to you, it was like, oh, I'm scared of that. What's that? I don't know either. Let's get away from it. Now you're running away from something that helps you, and it's watching you run away. It's watching you cower from it. It's watching you from a distance, which knows you better than you know yourself because it knows your lineage. Keep in mind, what destroyed us hasn't destroyed that information. They wasn't able to go in there and take the way they store information or how they have certain. What am I talking about they? Who am I talking about? It's not a particular set of people. These are entities. These are energies. These are presence that we call and classify into certain circumstances. I'm not going so deep into explaining that to you because it's none of your business, but I'm speaking to the spirit of some people. So when they tell you, look out for this, look out for that, or here, I'm going to show you a picture of this very clear and you've never seen it before, or this had glowing red eyes and it was flying, and all these different things. We are natural beings, period. End of the story. We're natural. That don't mean you had to do a lot of things. You didn't have to do a lot. You just had to be. The rules that was given to the people were being. There will be something that will fight for you. There will be something that will teach you. There will be things that will feed you. There will be a place for you to rest. There will be experiences. You will be okay. You will always be protected and safe because that's what was given to you. The difference is when you believe that and you act on that in a full totality. This is where you get people who do things out of fear. I had a cousin. We got pulled over one time. And I told him, don't worry about it. I got this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when they did what they did or whatever, and I was like, yo, we straight now. I ain't worried about it. He still was nervous. He's like, oh, officer. He literally did it just like that. Officer, what we do, officer? We go to jail. I'm like, man, shut the hell up. There's like, what's wrong with him? I was like, he never been out of the city. He's scary. He think y'all gonna do something. I was like, he ain't gonna, I'm telling you, I ain't gonna do nothing. You let y'all do your job and then we'll get the fuck out your head. Like that. I was mad cool. He was nervous because he knew, but he was scared. And his fear showed an opportunity. But it didn't matter because my confidence outweighed his fear and played him like he was off. So then they gave me the benefit of the doubt as his caretaker. This is the reality of what everybody mostly is living. This is why y'all depend on a false level of authority, a false level of control, a false level of government. And they demonize everything that came with the natural order of things. This is why you keep hearing, you heard for like so many years through the Bush administration and all these other administrations, New World Order. You kept hearing New World Order. It's because the order that was naturally laid, the natural order, the natural law, it comes as a precedent from the divine itself, from the divine universal understanding. It's a precedent. So now, as much as y'all believe that they're showing you this whole UFO thing, or you're gonna meet an entity and they're doing this to prepare you for aliens coming in. No, they're doing this so you'll turn away from that higher natural understanding of things, that you would perceive it how something that's not from here or is not of you would perceive something. I know y'all don't get it because you wasn't attached to the true knowledge of what that actually means. Nobody's not going to actually get it. That's full indoctrination. But there are natural things that's always going to perceive the value of what you think strength to be, knowledge to be, power to be. In this retrospect, the reality is not even around us right now, but it's here still. It's here. And this is why it hasn't just ran through the cities. Like, you ever ask yourself, like, when you see, they show you, cryptids, or they show you like things that actually exist. And you say to yourself, well, why haven't they just flown around and destroyed shit, kicked in the door? But in certain situations, we'll say things like, these people always see this shit. Think about what I'm trying to tell you. I've seen things, putting myself in a natural situation. I'm getting the goosebumps right now. Like literally meditating in the most indigenous way possible, right? And I'm just using that as a directional term by saying indigenous. Literally, like being in the natural state of nature, right? So what does that even mean? So that I can't access the highest level of myself being a future human, right? It's so far, the future humans are so far from nature that even trying to tap in, you got to have something tangible. You got to be dressed right. You got to, you know, you got to have your candles, your smell. You got to have so much that doesn't have, has nothing to do with natural. You know, when you go in the woods, things are just there. You don't have to prepare to do anything. You just go there. They're not worrying about if you look nice. The trees ain't like, I wonder if they got on cologne today, or or they got them new Jordans on and they walking in the woods with. Like the nature doesn't think like that. But there's energies there. And when you got to keep in mind, when you come, these energies notice everything that's on you that has an actual energy. So they're like, damn, you're immersed into the new system. Let me stay back. That tells them how your mind is. It's just like if you stop eating meat, animals start gravitating to you. That's because they can sense the soul energy on you. So you have so much carnage on you. It's like dry blood that you can't see. They can smell it. They can smell your intention. They can smell your thought pattern. Your thought pattern leads to how you digest. So if you digest a lot of meat, animals they can tell that because that's your normal retrospect. It's your integrity. So now if you don't have a balance to anything, you don't even know what that looks like. You got entities that's been around your existence forever that will literally war for you. They keep talking about giants and this, that, and the third. And you know, the cross reference was crazy. It's like, yo, why is it a point out about that? Why is that a focus? And you keep in mind, like if and you got some and the stories talk about big motherfuckers. I'm not talking about like just, you know, shack size or something. I'm talking about big motherfuckers, like so big you'd be like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a reality. You got people who study and found bones, a femur bone, a shin bone, the size of a highway inside of a mountain. The whole bone itself. I mean, like when you go inside a cavern, the whole cavern is made of bone. The inside is dry bone marrow. I don't make this up. This is just what they find. They don't want to tell nobody. So you got to think about these things like, yo, where is it? If these big individuals actually exist and some of them are still present, if that was the case, what would stop them from running them up? What would stop them from saying, you know what, fuck that, I'm going to tear up some shit? Well, if they had a divine job, they're not a part of the change and future system, so they still uphold a natural law. Things that cryptids, things that exist, they still uphold a natural law. But then you get the stories when you hear people, you know, they get together in their towns and they got their pitchforks and their fires and they go and chasing things down and they're gonna burn it to death. You gotta think about these things. Like, why would that be something? Why would you burn something familiar, right? It wasn't familiar to everybody. And if I'm a natural being, if I'm here of the earth, everything of me is of the earth, then anything else here is of the earth like me too. So that means I will be familiar with that. I can't go a billion years on this existence and not know everything in this place. So now I have to make sure you don't remember nothing. I have to make sure you don't know anything about anything. So now if I readjust your emotional pattern, if I readjust your fears, if I readjust your concept of reality, you will literally turn away. Your spiritual energy will turn away from everything natural because your response is going to be like watching a movie. Oh, snap. That's Freddy. Oh, snap. That's King Kong. Oh, snap. That's Jason. He about to kill him. Everything is going to be in that form of a value. And then you're going to group together with things that seem as if it's a balance because it sounds like you. The tweaking is crazy. The tweaking is crazy. Like how, and then if even if I was to go to the political aspect, right? Like the know nothing. I know nothing about this. I know nothing about that. I know nothing about what they're doing. Like, this shit is so crazy. Like, it's so deep and it's so inlaid into fucking indoctrination. I'm literally wiping your mind completely clean. And your response factor is going to be my response factor. You're going to look at the world how I look at your world. Period. The end of the sentence. That is the transmutation. So now you come and you say, yeah, you know, I don't like this. That smell. It's too big. It's too small. It's scary. It's loud. I'm not used to that. I never been there before. I don't know what that tastes like. These are all panders. These are all panders for exception. That's what they are. They're all panders for exception. You go somewhere, somebody family cooking some food, that shit smell good. You don't really want to leave. You want them to offer you some. And then you want them to give you a lot. It's your natural evil inheritance. You don't see it like that, though. You be like, man, that shit smell good. I want a plate. And then they feed their family, and you sitting there with the white mouth, right? And you like, I hope they get, in your mind, you like, I hope they give me some. And then they be like, well, I wish I could offer you some, but it's not enough. I still have to feed my husband and myself. you put your head down and you go home. You be mad at the motherfucker, right? You be mad because you got to go home with that value of what you wanted. So now take that recreation and put that on existence. Put that on something that probably never been around here, but they see everything that's for you. You got giants that protect your city and help you build your city. You got beasts that love you but will devour anything that comes into your circumference. You have, man, and you can go on and on and on. You got birds that expand and they're so large they're the size of planes. Everything is a carbon copy. My job is to make you walk away from your own army and then give you an army, make you feel safe again, false security. You know what I'm saying? Divine don't slide on nothing. Divine, like, yo, I gave you everything, but you don't remember nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't remember. You over there like, and then still, I'm gonna give you something small. We walk with lions. Ethiopians, the lion riders. Small. That's tiny. That's tiny. The goosebumps ain't stopped since I got on this damn thing. They still ain't stopped. Man, they just ringing off right now. My whole body is got goosebumps. Because every last spiritual entity is screaming right now. They like, y'all forgot. Nah, you ain't forget. You forgot. Nah, you don't know knowledge. You don't know who you is and what you don't. If you are natural, how don't you or aren't you connected to anything natural? Natural. How you a Naga and you ain't attached to nothing natural? Nothing natural. How you a Naga? Most of these Nagas, that's why I was mad about seeing that on social media the other day. Everybody claiming Naga now. I remember when it was a soul, but me that had that name Naga, not a soul. I'm explaining to people, yo, Naga is natural. It's the children of the sun. But you have to have a natural understanding. You can't wear this and then go hang out at the most futuristic aspect of reality. No, you nature. You are nature. This is why they said a new world order. They was trying to put down what was natural, which is you, person. You want to be equal with entities when entities were trying to be equal with you. But you didn't know what the equality was. The equality level was being a divine being amongst beasts. Whether they was 2,000 feet tall or 8 feet tall that can rip a car in half. Your life was to just live and be, no more, no less. You were supposed to experience all this. You wasn't supposed to have to go backwards, swim backwards, and do it. You wasn't supposed to lift a finger. Get big for what? Why I need to get diesel for? I'm a divine being that ain't even supposed to be in flesh. So no, my life's supposed to be supple. It's supposed to be enduring and fulfilling. An experience, a roller coaster, a safe one at that. And I wish you would. And I wish a nigga would. It was supposed to be that in its full totality. And you had things that would protect you from the beast. A beast among beasts. Giants among giants. Knowledge amongst knowledge. Destination amongst destinations. There was nothing that we would ever have or have a comprehension of understanding that was to come. But because this knowledge is lost to you, you are afraid of everything. And the one thing that you don't show fear for is what you beg for forgiveness from. You beg for help. You beg for, can we just make it? Can Rodney King, can we all just get along? If I knew my beast, I would never say that. If I knew the natural connection that I had to the rocks, to the dirt itself, to the trees, you know, it's a level, right? It's a level that takes place. You'll feel all right. So before your aura starts to stretch, right, you start to feel a level of inadequacy. You'll say to yourself, I felt that. Or a level of love will come to you. You'll feel it, unbeknownst to you, having that as a natural thing, because this level is literally coming from the inside of you and stretching outward. You literally run, you clam up. You know why? Because the cold energy is relevant. It's more relevant than you feeling that love or that expression of love. Everything else is built off that. Cars, gas stations, your job, the ground you walk on. It's a layover. It's a band-aid. Everything is covering what gives off this level of love. You go to the park, you can feel trees. You can feel the, remember being a kid and you sit by the water and you could just feel something. It was the life of it. It's what made you like it so much. You would go to the beach with your family and you would just get in this happy moment, you running. It was the life of it. That's what made you love it. Your mom or your grandma cook something real good, that real homey food, and just make you feel like you at home. That food, it was the love poured into it, right? The intention poured into it. So the communication barrier with natural orders of things was intended to make sure that you was always safe without you having a communication. But then they made cartoons and they showed you people who would say, this is my friend. I'm the things in the things in the woods. This is Babar or whatever. This is my pet cat. If you don't get your simple ass out of here mad because this ain't for you. So you got to make movies to show me that it's for you. And then y'all turn around and be like, yo, in this movie, this is always happening. Why you need a movie to have direction? Because I need to redirect your understanding from what's yours. Woo, that shit just turned on like, beep. Make this motherfucker shut up. And I wish I could show y'all these goosebumps all over my arms right now. I wish I could show you these goosebumps all over my arms. And ain't nobody gonna sit down and say, yo, how do you even unravel this? Look, I spend most of my days sitting with things that I'm unfamiliar with, and that's naturality. We was born in a world that was built to take you away from everything natural. So then the conversation ain't about who doing what and where. It's when will you decide to get back to what you plug into so then you can see everything that's for you. It don't even matter. You ain't got to try to do nothing else but just go barefoot and make it a repetition. But you got to keep in mind that you've been doing it so long, the repetition going to take us longer. It's like saying, you know what, I've been eating bullshit my whole life and now I want to get healthy. It ain't going to be an easy walk. You're going to have to flush that shit out and then get used to eating something that you ain't used to eating again before you even get healthy. It's a process. So then even you talking about that you are natural this or natural that, you meditate this and meditate that, and don't got no concept of none of this shit, you ain't even in it yet. Because you still trying to impress the value of what you think the terms of that is, so you can express that that's what you're doing. You're still futuristic. You're way far from natural, because natural don't give a shit about what you're talking about. It's happy when you show up. Don't show up and go get Sarah, Billy, Bob, or Marquise, Terrell, and James, and y'all all come down there, and you like, oh, hold on, let me get my radio, and I got to get a blanket and some water bottles, and, let's make sure we got some sandwiches and a few bags. You know what I'm saying? All this dumb shit before you go. Are you fucking serious? This is what I mean by having a conscious understanding of even what consciousness is. You don't comprehend. You don't, because you're going to justify it in the same value. But what if? Don't ask no fucking questions, because if it was never here, I would never have a question to ask. I would already be acclimated to everything natural. What question would I have if it was unbothered? I still got memories right now of the days when it was fruits around that we used to just play on trees and go pick fruits that don't even grow wild no more, because the shit they were spraying in the air when we were kids. I remember them coming down the street with these trucks spraying this shit in the air. I'm like, yo, what's that? Why they spraying that? Oh, it's for the bugs. No, it was for the indigenous food that we had naturally, that we can just go get with nobody's choice to tell us whether or not to do it or not to do it. To do it or not to do it. We just went and picked them. It didn't even matter. Then a year or two go by and the tree is gone. They don't even grow no more. Can't find them nowhere. Wild fruits start to not taste sweet anymore. They start to taste bitter. But then you're going to tell me about everything that's in the woods while you're destroying everything that's in them. Building concrete slabs over places where water was. Y'all don't get none of this shit. You're not going to be in line. You're so far from alignment. This shit is terrible. Your alignment is your alignment. You have buried your consciousness. And most of you sit down and justify false realities to try to feel as if you are on this level of consciousness by grouping together and talking about inadmissibles, talking about semantics. You're talking about the shit that people do that has nothing to do with naturality, but you feel you're hitting on a knowledge wall. You hear, you think, oh yeah, we dropping jewels. What are you dropping? Tell me what you dropping, but repeating the same failures from processes that were meant to pull you away from your natural understanding. So now at the end of the day, what are you doing? You're regurgitating the same plan. Show me your knowledge. Because you ain't on no ledge. You ain't on no ledge with nothing. You are repeating the same shit they've done. You're just verbally speaking it, trying to sound intelligent. Nah, I'll leave all this shit just to go back to where it was, knowing that I can walk in the woods and know exactly what that tree is, or exactly what that is, or exactly what that is by its action and definition of its existence. I know. Not by what somebody told me. That's what y'all sacrifice. You sacrifice your undying connection to what you are. This is why you look at each other now with so much disdain. I can't help but to see disdain when you ain't nothing natural. The soul is screaming against y'all. A male soul is screaming at a woman when she got on all this fake shit. Ah, man, I'll deal with it. It's almost like saying I'll settle. Females, same thing. Your soul is screaming out, but you're trying to replace the value of a man or what the country tells you a man should be. And then you're not happy. You know why? Because that's not natural. It's not going to satisfy the light that's inside of you. See, the body and the light, they work hand in hand. So the light is comfortable when the body is secure. The body is secure when it feels like what's outside of that is secure. So you're not even feeling comfortable inside yourself or even on your flesh, because you have a false reality of what security is. I'll never be happy until I get my shit back. And then we repeat these processes over and over and over, and we drag each other down. You other crabs pull people down, not even knowing why you're pulling them down. Oh, I got to get some kicks. I got to get this bag. You a fucking idiot. That shit was created for somebody else to subsidize something else that had nothing to do with you. And if you tag along in the process, we'll pick and choose by the numbers that we give each and every one of y'all if I want you to have something. But you chasing what? Oh, the image of what they put on TV. There's something that they told you that gained the same value to make you chase. It's like saying, you the donkey, I got the carrot. I'm going to show you on TV this motherfucker right here winning $10 million. I'm gonna even create a motherfucker that look like him, that's living this life, and show him every so often. So now in your mind, you think if I keep paying, I'll get it too. It'd be like, yo, no, I know somebody that won. I know somebody that did this. We are so addicted to the plan that somebody used to keep you in a mental stability, a mental degradation, that you get high off the process of hope. Not even the actuality of hope being real. It's the process of it. Oh, I'm getting there. You don't even know what's for you. Somebody tell you something flying around in the skies and shit. The first thing you think is this. Somebody tell you this thing. Man, I'm like, yo, this shit crazy, yo. How everything has to have a negative connotation if it's a natural connection. And I start to think, I'm like, damn, it's natural though. It doesn't deal with nothing that you deal with. But yet y'all go to get a chance. In 2025, supposedly, you still taking pictures talking about what's this. But my story says that I covered the whole, every piece of land mass that ever existed. So if I've been on every single land mass that ever existed, my culture, why isn't this no knowledge to me? Since the beginning of this system, if I've covered every single landmass, how don't I know about everything that's already being rediscovered or trying to have been telling me about it? You trying to tell me about what? I've been everywhere already. I've seen everything already and comfortably created the golden ages amongst all of this crazy turmoil that lasted for long thousands of years. It's not like they came after that. It's not like these things is happening to pop. Hey, let's go down there and see what they're doing on the golden age and see if we can start some destruction. It wasn't even like that. It's nothing new under the sun. And under this sun, it took a lot to chip and tear away at that concept of reality, of that security of connection from the original people to the natural order of things. It took a lot to chisel and break that rope. Those stairs had to be torn down because it was nothing that you worried about. False narratives and stories had to be made to promote fear. So now you have in your mind a vision of this thing running down the hill, eating people. This man doing this and leading people off a cliff. Somebody gathering all your children and taking them away and setting them on fire. All this shit is crazy. And yes, it possibly did play the role that how it's said, but it wasn't playing the role for the reason. It was playing the role of letting you know that time marker to where if someone was there that did know what was actually happening, they are dead and gone. And the outcome of that story left behind this residual feeling. So now that residual feeling is what you base your understanding and knowledge on. So the real part of that story, you ain't even getting. You only getting the part that they want you to know, which removes you from the natural part. Let's take the lid off and leave the shit open on the counter. And I come back and the shit hard tomorrow. I don't want that shit. It's the whole process. It's called oxidation. I'm going to oxidize your mind. I'm going to oxidize your mind. I'm not going to make you forget. I'm going to oxidize your mind. I'm going to erode it. I'm going to make you have similar or some familiar feelings to something, but not it. And because you can't actually get it, I can fulfill that space with something different. This is a false reality. So now you are addicted to that and comfortable with it. Because only thing I got to do is feed you a little bit more of that, and you'll be sustained. Well, at least we got through another day. The sun set, the moon rises, the night falls. You go to sleep, and then the sun comes back up, and you can get high all over again with the same bullshit. And if I keep doing this to y'all year after year after year, eon after eon after eon, every time you think you die and you wake up again, I can make you believe something indifferent to that past once again, and then you're going to lose your connection. I'm going to plan to show you something that's going to blow your motherfucking mind, but it's just going to make you follow me more. And they're going to say they don't remember us. They don't know us. They're comfortable with their new understanding of living. They're comfortable with the new things. They're getting by with the new things. The umbilical cord ends up being cut. And what people don't comprehend is the only thing that's really saving any of you is the few that still are attached through the umbilical cord to the all. The source energy that allows everything to rise. I'm only using words that are familiar so people can comprehend. But this is not a being, a group of people. They come from that. This is not a God person with hands, face, and all this. Is the ultimate divine energy that permeates everything. It doesn't have a character placement as a person. It touches everything. It is all things. Even the bullshit y'all think is still there. Everything else other than that comes from that. Period. End of the sentence. End the conversation. Fuck a religion. It's that. Period. Nothing more. And because they know that they come from that, their job is to make you see them as great. Everything opposite of the real is contrastal. So I have to say I am to make you see me. I'm not saying that they're not real. I'm saying that they're not the one. Siblings is all it is to me. I see siblings. I got brothers and sisters, and all of them assholes in some aspect. They thought it was great at some point in their life. They thought it was better at some. Everybody moves that way. It's nothing new under the damn sun. So why would I ever in my mind say, oh, this person is a ruler and this person is I don't give a shit about none of that. Their comprehension at the time they lived, it came through that understanding. I can look at it just for what it is. I don't need you to say, well, here, let me get up here and tell y'all. No, none of that got nothing to do with nothing. There's not a person with arms creating beings to do shit. These are levels. Levels. And this bottom level is stripping you from knowing this. From having any contentment or contentious understanding to the natural existence of all things. No, I got to show you go Tempe Beke or whatever in Egypt and India and Barubador and Nagrisha and all this. I gotta take you back thousands and thousands of years to have you see the renames of these certain circumstances to place people's faces so you can see that if it was you or if it wasn't you. The defame of character has to come with a purpose. So if you're gonna take my character from me, if you're gonna take my what I am from me, it has to be a reason. And then I have to know that the reason has to be based off something. So the only reason why you would do it because you're not it. It's no other reason. Animals don't do this shit. Animals will get a camouflage because they're not that animal. Listen to what I'm telling you. And these are animals these are things that don't have the highest conscious value. They will create a camouflage because they're not that animal. And that other animal is either fearsome, promotes a level of fear, or cannot be seen. Either way, it's things to make sure your ass gonna survive. Don't make this shit up, yo. Life shows you this all the time. Lizards change colors. Butterflies are soft and sweet, make big ass eyes on their wings. So you think you're looking at an animal's eyes. Oh, that's a lion. So now you got things that follow this same criteria. I'll be you. I'll merge myself into you. You won't even know that it's you that I'm being. You won't know that I'm befriending and trying to acclimate myself to everything that I show you that is not real. All the things in the world that just are afraid and scary and you're supposed to be afraid of. Those will be, or trying to be, the new creations. Look, people want to be 9 feet fucking tall. You want to be 9 feet tall dating a woman that's 4'11". The fuck is you? Are you serious? Are you fucking serious? Women walking around, you ain't tall enough. Your little ass, you the size of somebody's. Are you fucking serious? It shows you the conscious awareness is shot. Shot. And nobody don't see how far at the bottom of the hourglass that y'all are. Like, you're so far in the middle, like that part where all the sand almost gone. You right there. And this shit is changing. The whole world is changing right in front of your eyes. And only thing you got to do is to stop needing. Stop needing. Believe me, I've been fighting this shit a long time, and I know what it feels like, yo, because this is literally what I've been doing. And it's hard because the flesh is gonna fight you back. It's a hard thing to say, nah, I ain't going. Nah, I don't want none. Nah, I'ma chill. Nah, y'all go ahead. Nah, I'm good with just water. Nah, I don't need nothing else. I'm comfortable. That takes a lot to fight against shit. And if you don't do it long enough, you'll never get where I'm at mentally. I don't give a shit what nobody think. I be knowing shit. Play all praise due to the Most High. I be knowing shit. And that's because I've worked this muscle a lot. So much. I work this muscle so much. Only thing I have to deal with is truth. Truth is my power. Through and through. So people going to say things. And the only reason why they move off those retrospects is because they don't know anything. They move based off a value of false retrospect. So then inside of you, you get a feeling. And the first thing you say is, that is must be how I feel. No, that was injected into you. To be embarrassed, to feel lackluster of yourself was injected. I had to make you feel weak. I had to make you feel like you wasn't nothing. So then when you go to start feeling the energies that come off of the situations that happen in the system, you feel inadequate. Yeah, you're going to. You don't have an umbilical cord attached to the Almighty. You don't have that. So automatically you're sitting out there like this. And when it hits you, you feeling some type of way. Like, yo, I don't like that. I was embarrassed. I was let down. Why? Why though? Because I wanted them to see me as certain. I don't give a fuck. Who put that inside you? Who downloaded that energy inside you for you to be like, I need to feel that? And come on, man, you gotta look past these circumstances that the system gives you. And it's so deep because they got everybody controlled. It's almost like you got a cousin that's coming to stay with you. You got to look out for that cousin. You're supposed to be like, nah, I got you. I'm going to show you how everything is. And that cousin might feel some type of way. And you'd be like, look, cut all that shit out. I got you. Now, if we're going to keep having fun, you got to, you got to let me guide you. And that be the reality right there. That's the whole nutshell. So then you had some of them that was like, they think they're high and mighty because this is theirs. I'm so serious. I don't make this shit up, yo. But the stories, yo, that's why they had to burn so many of them books and shit. They like, yo, we gotta get this shit out of here. We cannot let no one know. I was so serious, yo. I be reading, I be checking shit out, and I pay close attention. And then now, like my ability, one of my abilities has always been to look at the big picture, like to see everything at one time, like have an aerial view over everything, and just know what the fuck is happening over everything. That's something I can do, right? So I'm I'm sitting. I turn on because I fell asleep earlier. Like I think I fell asleep like 5 or 6 o'clock, and then I woke up like 12, 1 or something like that, right? So I put on YouTube and I'm sitting there. I wasn't looking at it like an actual show. I'm looking at the whole thing, like all the little. They show you all the little boxes of which you can choose to watch and stuff like that. So I'm looking at, and I'm just got my arrow, and I got the thing, and I'm scrolling down all of them, and I'm looking, and some of them will pop on, and some of them will, and I'm looking at it, and I'm listening. You know what I hear on there? I hear is what I'm explaining. It's like people are trying to, and you're doing it very well, but it's not a well that you want. It's not a good that you want. You're trying to be accepted. It's like they're trying to be seen as, and these are shit. Most of my own people, like you're trying to be seen as something that's a source of that particular energy, and that's not even a reality. It's false to the natural connection of what you is. It's not something that you're gonna have. It can't go into nature. And then I see this one guy. He looks like a fucking like a goth or something like that. Long blonde hair, and he talks about God, the devil, and shit like that. And he's always lying. Always. He's only coming from the perception of somebody else. And I'm like, damn, yo. But he unmasks a lot of followers. And I'm like, that's interesting. If you do tell a lie and you propagate it in a way to where it's somebody can learn from it, right? Even if it's false, everything will be attracted to that. It has to be a lie though. It just has to be. It has to be. Even if it sounds like it's right, it just has to be off a digit. If it's off a digit, they're gonna make sure. Shout out to Dan Calloway. He talks a lot of true shit, and I love the wormhole that he's actually carved out for you to walk down and actually see all the truth. It's fucking beautiful. You're not gonna get it. You're gonna keep using the parts of what happened through the past, which is that's gonna wash you up. That's gonna wash you away because that's everything. That was all the mechanics. So it's not to say that it's right or wrong. Yes, it was wrong. It has nothing to do. Nothing has nothing to do with the actual circumstance. That circumstance was put there to misguide you. As soon as it happened, as soon as the mechanism worked, you're already in confusion now. So having your mental here today and then saying I'm gonna go to the past to get truth, that's gonna bring more confusion. Because now you got to figure out why. I don't got to figure out shit. It ain't natural. That's the end of that. Chuck it in the trash. But it has nice. I don't care what color it is. Oh, but it got wheels. I don't care what the size of the wheels. But it just came out the oven. I don't give a shit. Throw that shit in the trash. Period. End of the game. You guys got to get to that point. When you get to that point to where you can actually digress your understanding from even trying to prove the fact of what you are. See what I'm saying? Now they got you there. And I see a lot of brothers and sisters beyond that shit. They'll pay homage to the fact of how they're transgressing through a level of knowledge at this present time when none of that shit even matters. I don't have to transgress shit. I am natural. I am natural. That's what it is what it's like you trying to convince a fish to tell you why it's in water. Boo boo the fool. Why would you ask me a dumbass question? You know what I'm saying? Why am I natural? Because this is my element. This is my fishbowl. I'm natural. What you are. You're naturally supposed to connect to nature. It's what you do. You're naturally supposed to have a compass inside your mind to distinguish in between the natural connections of where you are. That's what you do. Anything other than that is not supposed to be. But the addiction rate is through the roof now, and everybody's addicted to this false level of what we so-called call the system. And soon, like I'm getting bored. I'm getting bored already. But it's not about me anymore, right? Because we're getting older, so they have to focus on the new people coming in to find something. If I'm getting bored already, they're gonna make a new system that's gonna have them in the headlock, right? Because keep in mind, before the new kids came, we didn't have internet. We had other small shit, right? Remember when PlayStation first came out? It was the first, you know what I'm saying? We used to have Atari and all, you know what I'm saying? It was something to distract you. Something to distract you while they're doing everything else. And each 10 to every 10 years, they change the curriculum in schools. Every 20 years, they create something new. Or every 5 years, I can't remember. It's certain knowledges as far as how we grow mentally with the natural order of things. They are in line with that time to create something to distract you. So now you're, oh my God, it's the new. I gotta get and then you go get on that, and then you stay lost into that for the next 3-4 years, and then they have a tournament for it or something, and then all of a sudden you wake up and the country, the place, people done died, wars and money done changed, and new things done built. You're like, what happened? You forgot that you were natural. You forgot that you were natural. And these entities that are still here, that people are still seeing, they know it's going to be a shock of energy that's going to wake people up, and it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt when that shit flood. Now, why do you think they look at the sun so much? These pulses are going to wake you up regardless. And I always say this. I've said this to plenty of my friends through life in general. I would say you're going to swim all the way out to the middle of the fucking ocean, realizing that you have to swim all the way back. Take that shit serious. You're going to swim all the way out there and then say, damn, I got to go all the way back. That's a long ass swim. And you ain't even make it to land. You still, you floating in the middle like, nah, I'm tired of shit. I got to swim all the way back. And you look behind you, it ain't nothing but water. You don't even see land. Start swimming. This is what's going to happen. But it's still going to wake you up. And then when it wakes you up, you're going to realize a lot. That flash going to come. Like your life is going to be like this. It's going to flash real fast. And that few seconds, you're going to see your whole life. And then from that, it's going to go into your past lives. And then you're going to see every existence. You're going to see things you was attached to. You're going to see your ancestors attached to things. You're going to see the power that exists. Megalithic values. And I'm not talking about structures. Values. People, places, and things. You're going to see yourself at the foothills of it, being carried by it, being embraced by it. You're going to remember. You're going to say, why don't we know these things? Why am I imagining this? Is this something I'm just making up in my head? You can't make it up. You can't make that up. This is your cells remembering. A little practice that I do from time to time when I can remember to do it, as I know that my cells split to create organs. So every so often I meditate and I ask my cells to come back together because they've seen so much. They've split so many different times and they've experienced so many different things, and they can see more than I can see. Sometimes I meditate and ask them to come back together just for a moment so they can, exchange information and transport it to my understanding. Don't let that fly over your head. You probably can't do what I do, but I think different. I think different. But it's easy to know these things once you hear the truth so much and they put it right in your face. But to comprehend why that's being said to you that way is the most important thing. So then you can understand what's actually being used. But if you don't have no knowledge, if you was a delinquent in school, like you don't understand word problems and certain way the words are spoken and why it's spoken like that, and the energy pushed behind certain phrases, like people don't listen to these things or even able to comprehend it. You could say something to somebody 5 different ways and they're going to respond to you the same way. Some people, this is how you know the knowledge is gone. Be like, yo, that don't matter. Like how that was said to you don't matter. And I've been in those situations. I'll be like, you didn't hear that? And they be like, what are you talking about? And I'll be like, yo, the way they were talking to you, man, that don't matter. I'm like, it don't matter. All right, you right. It don't matter. If it don't matter to you, that means you're blind. I get it. And I see a lot of blind people. And because we are blind culturally, everybody's response time is passive. You're passive. Oh, that's not what that is. They were good. I don't give a fuck what they gave you. I don't give a shit. I don't give a goddamn. Good will be fighting with me to get back what's supposed to be here. That's good. Good is sacrificing. 100%, not some, all. Good is unconditional. Good is the way of the divine. Good is righteousness. Good is right. Good is making it right. Good is unconditional. Good is selflessness. So whenever you're out here, people, and every time you go to make a decision and it makes you uncomfortable and you decide not to do it, it's because you're a fucking sucker. Not gonna wise.